children, how are you all? Hope all of you are fine. So in this corona situation also, if you are fine, then be thankful to the God first. Me too. So as you know that already I have uploaded many videos of different subjects and different topics. Please go through all these topics as new session is going to be begin. Today I have brought you a new chapter, sound of 10th class physics. So already you have the basic idea of sound. In your previous classes already you have learned. So I'll put a glance also on that facts and some more new facts we will read in this module. So before starting this chapter, as I have already requested that please subscribe my channel, press the bell icon to get the notifications so that you won't miss any of my video. So please stay tuned with my channel. So children, let's start our topic without wasting the time. You can see in the board I have written many points. As you have learnt in your previous classes all about these points of sound, so just I want to remind you. Okay, now go to the points what I have written. Sound is produced due to vibration. Sound needs a medium for its propagation. So, whenever a solid object is struck by a rigid object, then it starts vibrating. And when it starts vibrating means the molecules of the body starts vibrating. And as you know that solids are having less intermolecular space between them. So the particles are vibrating in its mean position only. This is called the to and fro motion, or you can say oscillation. That's why sound wave is also called the elastic or mechanical wave. So whenever the particles of the body vibrates and it will reach to our ear, then only the sound is audible to you. So how that vibration is coming to our ear? It needs a medium for its propagation. Without a medium, the wave particles cannot travel. That's why necessary conditions for the production of the sound and the propagation of the sound is body must be vibrated and that vibration must propagate through a medium. Then, as the particles are vibrating, so it will form like a wave. So sound is traveling like a wave. And as you know that wave motion is two types. One is longitudinal and one is transversal. Your transversal wave is your light wave and longitudinal wave is your sound wave. Now I will discuss about the longitudinal wave and the sound wave. First I will explain, after that I will write the definitions. Now let us see. Here I have drawn two diagrams. This is the diagram of the transverse wave. This is the diagram of the longitudinal wave. So here this transverse wave, it is in the form of a wave, but your longitudinal wave, the particles are going in the form of compressions, rarefactions. Compressions, rarefactions. So to understand this topic well, again I will explain you how the mode of transmission of the particles. Then only you can understand about the longitudinal wave and the transverse wave. Now see the definition of the longitudinal wave and the transverse wave and how the mode of the propagation of the particles. So you write down these points so that it will be helpful for your exam. So children, now discuss about the transverse wave and the longitudinal wave. So transverse wave means it is forming the crests and troughs. As I have told that time, these are called the crests, these are called the troughs. Means what? As I have written here the definition, that one, medium particles vibrate normal to the direction of propagation. What do you mean by normal to the direction of the propagation? Means what is the direction of propagation? Means in which direction it is going. In which direction it is going, you can say, I have given the arrow mark here. Means the particles are going in this direction. And how they are vibrating then? Vibrating is normal to the direction of propagation. Means they are vibrating like this. From here to here, then here, then here, then here. Means the vibration is like this. Like this. Propagation is like this. Vibration is like this. That's why normal. You can see my hand position. Propagation is like this, vibration is like this. That's why it is the normal. This type of wave, it is called the transverse wave. And these transverse waves only can travel through solids and surface of a liquid. Your example is your light wave. Then what about the longitudinal wave? What is the example of the sound wave? They are traveling along the direction of the propagation. Along the direction of the propagation means, you can see my hand position. As here I have written compression, rarefaction, compression, rarefaction. Means, suppose your direction of propagation is like this, and the particles are so vibrating like this, this, like this. From here to here, then here, then here, here, like this mean position. Like this they are vibrating. Again I am showing the difference. In transverse wave, propagation is and the vibration is like this. But in longitudinal wave, propagation is like this and the vibration is like this. Means along the direction of the propagation. This is the main difference between the transverse wave and the longitudinal wave. So here it can travel through solids, liquids and gases. And direction of propagation is along the direction of the particles are vibrating along the direction of the propagation. So you have to remember the main difference of the longitudinal wave and the transverse wave, because you can write whenever it will ask differentiate between the light wave and sound wave also, this point you can add there. So note down these points so that it will be helpful for your exam. Now children, you can see that I have drawn a graph of the wave. So here I have written some points also: wavelength, amplitude, time period, frequency. These are the some common terms related to the wave motion. So what is wavelength? First let me explain, after that I will write the definitions. Okay. So what is wavelength? Here I have written the D. So D means it is the distance, that how much height that wave is the traveling in the lower side and in the upper side. It is called the amplitude, means the height of the wave, it is called amplitude. Amplitude means the maximum height that wave is traveling. Maximum height means this one. This one is called the amplitude. That is the maximum height the wave is traveling. So this is termed as the amplitude. Now come to the wavelength. Wavelength means, you just note down that from this point to this point, it's called one propagation. Means this is traveling in the to and fro motion. Mean position, upper position, mean position, lower position, then main position. Then only we can say that one complete oscillation. Then how many waves are here? This is one and this is another one. So two waves are here. So here in between two crests, this is called the crest. Upper side is called crest. And in between two troughs, this distance is called your wavelength, or it is denoted by lambda. The distance between two crests or the distance between two troughs is called wavelength and denoted by lambda. Unit is Armstrong. Armstrong, one scientist was there, and according to his name it is called Armstrong, and its symbol is A, and like this 0 it is upper side. This is the symbol of Armstrong and unit of wavelength. Now come to the frequency. Frequency means what? You just count the number of waves. This is 1, this is 2. Like this you count the number of waves. In 1 second, how many complete oscillations are traveling this medium or passing this medium? That is called your frequency. Again I am repeating, you have to measure in 1 second. In 1 second's time, the number of oscillations traveling the medium is known as your frequency. Then the next term is the time period. Just opposite to the frequency. Means there you have to take time 1 second and you have to count the number of oscillations. But here you have to take one oscillation. Means from here to here. And for this one oscillation, the time taken is known as the time period. The time required for one oscillation is known as the time period. So just frequency is the reciprocal of time period and time period is the reciprocal of frequency. So what is the relationship between the frequency and the time period? That frequency you can denote is the small f. That frequency is equal to 1 by time period, capital T. And time period is equal to 1 by frequency. This is the relationship between the time period and the frequency. Hope you understand. Now let us write all the definitions properly and you note down in your notebook. Now children, you can see I have written all the points whatever I have explained. So here wavelength means what? The distance travelled by a wave in one time period of a vibration of the particle of the medium. You note down all these points so that you can by heart. Then amplitude, the maximum displacement of the particle of the medium on either side of its mean position. Then it is coming under the time period, the time taken for one complete oscillation of the particles in the medium. Then frequency, the number of vibrations made by the particle in 1 second in the medium. So you note down all these points and by heart properly. Definitions will come in your examination, and whatever the graph also I have drawn, that also you remember, because it is coming in your examination, that by showing a graph you just explain these terms. So children, now discuss about some factors on which speed of the sound depends. Here I have written some factors. Let's discuss about that factors. One is density, elasticity, temperature, humidity and pressure. Now what is the relation? As you can see these symbols, these are the proportionality sign. And as I have written 1 by, means it is the inversely proportional. Speed of the sound is inversely proportional to density. As all of you know that what is density? That mass per unit volume is density. So easily you can understand which is the denser medium and which one is the rarer medium. So as it is inversely proportional means if density increases, then speed of the sound decreases. If density decreases, then speed of the sound increases. Inversely means opposite. So according to that, which one is the denser medium, then speed of the sound is less. Which one is the rarer medium, then speed of the sound is more. Then second is directly proportional to the elasticity of the medium. Elasticity you will read in the higher classes. Here elasticity means it is the directly proportional, means more elastic medium, the speed of the sound is more. Less elastic medium, the speed of the sound is less. And as all of you know that density depend upon the temperature and the humidity. So here speed of the sound is also directly proportional to the temperature and directly proportional to the humidity. Increase of the temperature and humid condition of the atmosphere, your speed of the sound is more. Then next is the pressure. Here I have written not affected by change in pressure, means if any pressure difference is there, there is no change of the speed of the sound. So trick question will come in your exam. There maybe it has given about two mediums where pressure difference is there and asking about their relationship of the speed of the sound. Where is more, where is less, or compare. That time you can say that there is no effect of the speed of the sound. In both the mediums, the speed of the sound is same because pressure difference has not affected the speed of the sound. But if other factors it is asking about temperature, about humidity, about density and about your elasticity, then according to the relationship you can say the speed of the sound and you can compare the speed of the sound. But many times the pressure difference is coming. Trick question it is coming, that time you have to write that speed of the sound is same, and if it is asking compare, then ratio is 1:1. Then next, what is the term wave velocity? The distance travelled by the wave is called wave velocity and it is denoted by v. How much distance a wave is travelling, that is called wave velocity. And there is a relationship between the wave velocity, frequency and the wavelength. I have written here that v is equal to f into lambda, where v is known as wave velocity, f is known as frequency and lambda is known as wavelength. Very very important relationship. Basing on this relationship your numericals will come and you have to solve it. Now, for your better understanding, you note down all the points so that it will be helpful for your exam. So children, here I have written the difference between the electromagnetic wave and a sound wave. Electromagnetic waves includes your X-ray, gamma ray, ultraviolet ray, light ray, everything it will come under the electromagnetic wave. So as you know that, already I have told you, light wave is a electromagnetic wave and is a transverse wave. So all the properties of the transverse wave is coming under the properties of the electromagnetic wave. So the vibration of the particles is normal to the direction of the propagation. Here the vibration of the particles are along the direction of the propagation. Here energy is transferred in the form of photons, means in your light wave or electromagnetic wave. Here this is the important point, photons. Here energy is transferred through the vibration of the particles. These are the important. It can travel through vacuum, electromagnetic wave, does not require any medium. But here, it needs a medium. It cannot travel through the vacuum. So note down the points, it will come in your exam. Now, next, we will discuss about the difference between the light wave and the sound wave. Now, children, here I have written some points compared to light wave and sound wave. These are electromagnetic waves. These are mechanical waves. And light wave can travel in vacuum, but they need a medium for their propagation. The speed of light wave is high, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second in air, or you can write 3 into 10 to the power 5 kilometer per second in air. But in sound wave, the speed of the sound is 330 meter per second in air. Somewhere it has given 340, but 330 or 340 it is okay. And here, in case of light wave, wavelength is very small. It is only visible. That is a 10 to the power minus 6 meter. But here wavelength is high. It will differ from 10 to the power minus 2 meter to 10 meter. Then these are transverse in nature. These are longitudinal in nature. And you can write ortho. Here also you can write the particles are vibrating normal to the direction of propagation and the particles are vibrating along the direction of the propagation. These are in the form of photons and these are in the form of the vibrations. So these are the basic difference between the light wave and sound wave. You note down these points. It will come in your exam. So children, next is the reflection of the sound wave. As all of you know, the reflection of the light wave, same in the case of the reflection of the sound wave. Whenever your sound wave is returning back from a rigid object, like your sound wave, light wave, say the returning back of the light, because your reflection phenomenon is the reflecting back, bouncing back of light or bouncing back of sound wave. So anything it is bouncing back to your ear or to your eye, that is called the reflection. So bouncing back of sound wave from a rigid object is called the reflection of the sound. But condition is, in the reflection of light, that surface must be smooth surface. But here that condition not required. Your surface can be rigid surface. Only the condition is that the surface must be larger than your wavelength of the sound, much larger than the wavelength of the sound, so that easily it can bouncing back to your ear. Otherwise you cannot hear the sound properly. So here I have written the what is reflection of the sound and what is the condition, and where this principle, the reflection of the sound principle, you are using. Anywhere the sound is coming, like your megaphones, your sounding boards, everywhere the reflection of sound is, this principle is working. So the rules are there also. Whatever the rules in the reflection of the light, that rules only, here also it is working. So laws of reflection, same everywhere. You can write these laws of reflection, whatever you have read in the reflection of the light. So now note down these points. Returning back of sound waves on striking a rigid surface is known as your reflection of the sound wave. Condition is that size of reflecting surface is much larger than the wavelength of the sound wave. And where you are using this reflection of the sound principle, trumpets, megaphones, soundboards, etc. So note down these points and read for your exam point of view. So children, this is about today's module. Only I remind you whatever you have learnt in your previous classes. In the next class, we will read about a new concept, that is the echo. what are the conditions of the echo and what is echo, and how this echo technique is used in our day-to-day work or any principle, how that echo principle is working. That we will read in the next module, and day by day or in the next videos I will upload the numericals basing on the echo. So please press the bell icon and stay tuned with my channel so that you will get all the videos of the sound and your understanding level will be better. Thank you.